Antiderivative Jill.
There is a fifth dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
Hello and welcome to Indefinite Lunch and Infinite Combinations number 138, where we're exploring all of the Twilight Zone. Today, we are taking a closer look at the two episodes and When the Sky Was Opened and What You Need. We're going in broadcast order. I like both of these episodes. And if you notice at the top of your chat, you have a poll. You can decide which one you like more. If you haven't seen it, listen to what we have to say and make your decision a little later. And I think they're both pretty neat. But we can go ahead and say hello to our panel. I'd like to say hi to Tiger Stripes. Welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Morning. And we also have Scotty R37. How are you? Okay, he stepped off, and but he'll be back. Don't worry.
I don't mind you coming here and wasting all my time. I'm just what you needed.
Ooh, the cars.
Yeah.
I love the cars.
Well, also,
perfect,
spoilers
yes.
for the end of What You Need. He's a car.
Right. What you need is
And it's not a Ford.
No.
to learn how to work scarves. And Stone Racket, thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
I'm doing terrific on this terrific Tuesday. How about you?
Wonderful. And so I'd also like to say hello to the chat here. We also have DJ Knight who says just what you just said a minute ago, Stone Racket.
Oh, can I do it?
The intro. Okay, sure. Go ahead.
You're
Go ahead,
traveling to a dimension of time and space where the universe connects you to a dimension of sight and a dimension of mind, a dimension of sound and timelines and infinity.
Okay, thank you for the Valley Girl.
I'm sure Rod would appreciate that.
Oh, Rod is spinning in his grave to the
continues
point
it.
of making kinetic. The connection between light and reality has been made. You're entering the Twilight Zone. Season 1 review.
What You Need is one of my favorites. Yes, it is. Well, then the ending is the best, but we're gonna hold off talking about that right away. DJ Play Nice says Elliot Easton is one of the most underrated and unknown guitar players in the late 70s and 80s. Hashtag cars, just what I needed. It's a great song. I'm glad you
And
called
by the
attention
way,
to it.
because I do have the keys to this particular car, I was
Yeah.
the one who posted the song in the chat. That wasn't Jill, so don't blame her for any sort of copyright infringement.
Posted the song?
Yeah, I posted the song.
No, I didn't notice that. But there's no copyright infringement. You're just linking to a different video. The copyright responsibility belongs to the person who uploaded the video.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so you're golden. Gavin
Yay.
Blackburn. I'm glad to see you, Gavin.
He
And
says,
Treb. Hey.
he says, wee.
Wee. Oh, he does. I do
Yeah,
have a wee.
Gavin Blackburn. I think you have a video.
I do.
The Golden Man!
You must be mistaken, sir. The gentleman and I have never met. Whee!
That always works on me. I don't know. I'm very easily amused. And hello to Real Wade Nation Gaming. I did it. Hi. Oh, good job. I think. I don't know what you did. Canadian Spider Red says, hello there, folks. Please hit the like button. And Gorilla's Censored Thought says, Kapla. Can't stick around. Scott is PMSing today and getting ready for major truck show. What? Okay. It's a different Scott. Not this Scott.
Yeah, I was gonna say. My cycle is very different.
Yeah. No. He does though.
I do.
Not today.
Not today.
But let's get started on these episodes. We're ready to talk about them. And if you notice today, all of my Eric's are also in black and white, so it's not all yellow all over the place.
Yeah.
So, and When the Sky Was Opened first aired on December 11th, 1959. So we're going to be almost in the 60s soon. Probably next up. Oh, right. These are in broadcast order, so we might jump back to the 59s for a while. So never mind. Forget what I said.
Time travel.
It was, yeah, well, it's not exactly time travel. It's more like we produce these episodes a certain order, but we're showing them on TV in a different order. And we're showing them on TV broadcast order. But this one was directed by Douglas Hayes, with the story by credit going to Richard Matheson.
I know, right?
And the teleplay by Rod Serling. So then it also has music by Leonard Rosenman.
Rossenpfeffer?
I did feel wrong when I said it.
Okay.
Well, anyway, Richard Matheson, he's a new writer to the show that Rod Serling selected himself. So these stories, he's a well-established writer, and this particular story has a lot of dread in it, but in a good way. But what it's just the idea of the episode that made it. According to him, he says that the script was based on his short story, The Disappearing Act, but the connection was very thin. And this is from the Twilight Zone Companion by Mark Scott Zickery. You might find him on YouTube as the sci-fi guy, I think. And
oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, in his story, in the original story, it was about an unsuccessful writer who finds that people in his life, one by one, are disappearing, and then and he's the only person who remembers them until he disappears too. And so, in comparing the episode with the short story, Matheson says, "My feeling about it is like my feeling about the second version of my novel, I Am Legend, filmed as the Omega Man. It's so far removed, and there's nothing to judge by." So basically, it just uses his idea. It doesn't really tell his particular story. And the title is... Go ahead.
Well, it's kind of like when you hear about, my brain is not working, but like the guy who directed The Thing or The Fog or Halloween. John Carpenter. And when John Carpenter, he's like, people ask him, and it's like, so how do you feel about the remakes? And he's like, the only thing I care about when it comes to those remakes is the check that crosses my hand.
Well, for writers to get their name as a credit, in film, that can be money in the bank right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I know if it was me, I mean, that's a very carefully worded statement from Matheson. And I'm sure that he had a lot of respect for Rod Serling, who couldn't have. But yeah, that's a real change-up.
Well, and Richard Matheson, I think that a lot, not just Last Man on Earth. Is that what the Omega Man was based on?
I Am Legend.
Yeah.
I Am Legend, but he was very prolific in science fiction and fantasy stories that ended up being bigger than they were. And so,
yes, he had a lot of time on film screen.
Mm-hmm. Which is great.
Concepts and ideas. Oh, it's always the best. Writers write. They're the idea people.
Rod chose well.
I have something here from my Twilight Zone book, Unlocking the Door to a Television Classic by Martin Grams Jr. About Richard Matheson and this story. When Richard Matheson first submitted this short story to a reading agent for review, the story was returned to him torn into pieces. Undiscouraged, Matheson continued to submit the story to other agents unchanged and it eventually found its way into the magazine of science fiction and fantasy, and was ultimately purchased by Serling for the Twilight Zone. And this is a quote from Richard Matheson. Actually, Disappearing Act and Third from the Sun are the only two stories I sold them for many years because I wanted to do original teleplays and hold on to my stories. Then later on, I sold some of the stories because all my early scripts, if you notice, are originals. I think if it was filmed as written, it would be great. Referring to today's episode, I think if it was filmed as written, it would be great. But there was no point in trying to adapt it personally because I didn't own it. I sold the story to the Twilight Zone. I would have liked to adapt it myself. End of quote.
Yeah, that would have been. It would have been cool. I love the idea of it being an author, but here we have it.
Even with the adaptation, I can personally already think of an ending I would have preferred. So,
oh, really?
Oh yeah, easily.
We'll get to that.
Yeah,
definitely.
Spoilers.
Oh, wait a minute, Tiger Stripes. Could you read the opening narration for us? Let me get that in there. Yes, the whole thing fit.
Her name, X-20. Her type, an experimental interceptor. Recent history, a crash landing in the Mojave Desert after a 31-hour flight 900 miles into space. Incidental data, the ship with the men who flew her disappeared from the radar screen for 24 hours. But the shrouds that cover mysteries are not always made out of tarpaulin, as this man will soon find out on the other side of a hospital door.
Thank you, Tiger Stripes.
Thank you.
And
that's a
this
good one.
this is actually. I've always known what a tarp is, but I'd never heard the whole word together. Tarpaulin.
Yeah, a tarpaulin.
Oh yeah, tarpaulin. We used plenty of tarpaulins when we went camping.
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting. I guess that's originally something that was covered with tar, so it would be water resistant.
That I don't know, but the tarps or tarpaulins that we used were heavy canvas, and my dad sprayed 3M waterproofing on them.
Greek letters, you're stealing Gorilla's random or censored thoughts joke.
Yeah, he kind of is, but maybe
it's plagiarism.
Yeah.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, though.
Yeah, but steal a better joke.
Hey, keep it down over there. We're having internet problems over here, and you ain't helping with all that noise you're making.
Huh.
Did someone say trampoline or tarpaulin?
Tarpaulin.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. It just essentially means tarp. I just never heard the full word before.
Serling says tarpaulin in his narration is tarpaulin.
So
sue me, Scotty. Ooh.
So sue me.
Them's fighting words.
On behalf of Gorilla Random Thoughts, sue Greek letters.
Class action.
Okay, so let's get to the hospital.
Let's get to the hospital, and let's get to the star of the show, the man of the hour, the Tower of Power.
Rod Taylor.
That's him.
And there is Sue Randall playing Nurse 1 in this episode, and
I was thinking the nurses don't have names.
She is best known as playing Miss Alice Landers on Leave It to Beaver.
Huh.
The teacher that Beaver had a crush on in one episode. They kind of...
Well, you can count me among Beaver's feelings.
Most of Beaver's teachers were pretty cute, though.
Well, but that's also something that I found really striking about this. This is something that I needed today, is that it's a very snowy day outside. It's been quite a Canadian winter, and so there are snowbanks everywhere. And I was just like, I need something cozy, cup of coffee, some black and white attractive people doing really good work. And yeah, these nurses, they're what I needed.
And they're what the story needs, because they're the external force that just happens to live in the world. And and they don't really react to the tragedy that's unfolding before them because to them, the reality that they face is the way it's always been.
Well, but this is the thing, is that it establishes, it's like, oh, do you know him? And Nurse One is like, yeah, totally. He was part of that airplane crash. And it's like, oh, okay. And so you do establish that she knows who he is, which becomes ominous and eerie once we get to the close of the episode.
She knows who Colonel Forbes is. She knows who Major Guard is. And so she's at this point. And he's played by Rod Taylor, who I know.
Do you not know the glory of Rod Taylor?
I don't know the glory of Rod Taylor, but I do know he played Winston Churchill in Inglourious Basterds.
That was his final screen role, yes. But he was in The Time Machine. He was in The Birds. He is he is an Australian national treasure. Sadly deceased, but his legacy lives on.
Yeah, he just in the next year, 1960, he would be in The Time Machine, produced by George Powell. And then just 3 years later, he would be in Alfred Hitchcock's production of The Birds.
Mm-hmm.
His two best, for me, known roles, the ones I know him by.
Well, and he did a lot of military film work. And when I say military, I mean war movies.
Yeah.
But he was in a bunch of stuff, and mostly in the Pacific Theater, obviously, because he was from Australia. But I don't think he very often played Aussies. I think he was much more utilized for his work in accents. Whenever I see Rod Taylor, I'm like, I throw away the remote control and continue watching the film till credits. I love Rod Taylor. And when I found out that he was on here,
I couldn't tell he was Australian. He sounds American.
Mm-hmm. He's great. He's great.
And Gavin Blackburn says Rod Taylor was the original Marty McFly. Do you know the meaning behind that?
Well, time travel.
Time machine.
Oh, the time machine. Okay, duh. Okay, I should be paying attention.
It turns out he was Pongo in Disney's 101 Dalmatians.
You're kidding.
Oh, that's right.
Saw it. I had no idea. So
that's right.
Certainly did a British voice in that.
I forgot about that.
I had no idea.
I've never seen it.
I can't wait. IMDb.
101 Dalmatians. Awesome.
101 Dalmatians.
Awesome.
Oh, the animated piece you have to see. It's by one of my very favorite writers, Dodie Smith, the original. Yeah.
The Twilight Bark.
There he is.
Kind of looks like him.
Right, Tiger Stripes. Right, Tiger Stripes. The Twilight Bark.
He just keeps his tongue in his mouth.
Yes. Yeah. I always notice the Twilight Bark. It's to this day. Whenever you get dogs who start to do that.
Yeah.
Just as the sun's going down.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how they get messages. Well, you have to see the movie. But my favorite character...
Or read the book.
Or read the book, even better. My favorite character is Mr. Tibbs, but I'm a cat, so I'm biased.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
That's right.
I'm sidelining too much. So.
Yes, we are.
Yes. And
that's
then
okay. If he was in a Disney cartoon,
is pretty remarkable too.
I'm happy with that. But before we get to him, I have to say hello to Classic Comics and Grogu. Kapla, everyone. Kapla, Joe. Hope you're having a wonderful day.
Yay. Brogu, you bring up something very, very poignant, because I was thinking, Kapla. I was thinking about this, and I was like, you know what? Do I actually have to watch this episode, or can I go back and watch Bird of Prey's review of it? And I was like, nah, I should watch the episode. But big shout out, because he walked so that we can run. I really appreciate. And if you don't like this review of the Twilight Zone, go check out Bird of Prey's Legacy channel.
Well, definitely. He watched all of the Twilight Zone from these early episodes all the way through the 1980s episodes. So he watched all of the good Twilight Zone episodes. Yep. And he did actual watch party commentary reviews. So those were his commentaries, and really, really lovely stuff. He did great. And
just shout out to Bird of Prey 5. wherever
Of
you happen
course,
to
I didn't.
be.
I'm so glad you saw that comment because I completely missed it. Thank you, Scotty. I still don't see it.
Oh no, everyone saw it, but Tiger was in on it.
Well, if you could have highlighted it for me, I couldn't find it.
I broke my arms.
Okay. You did.
No,
Okay, so let
I
me see if
didn't.
I
I'm
can
being
find it.
facetious. Let's move on with the episode.
No, I know. Okay, I was trying to find the chat that you responded to.
The Kapla?
Oh, okay, that's all you were.
1125 from Brogu.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
Brogu. Giving a big shout out.
Okay, thank you. Hey,
So-
Ron. What? Hi, what's happening? We're talking about the Twilight Zone.
True.
And so
Has a
we said
wonderful
the
title,
opening
When the Sky
narration.
Was Opened.
Yes, it's from
Yeah.
a. It's from a.
Sounds like
what
it's
is
from a
it?
nursery rhyme, a play on
It
the,
is from a nursery rhyme.
4 and 20 Blackbirds, when the pie
Six-
was opened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The birds began to sing. Wasn't that a dainty dish to set before the king?
Yes.
And yes, then I like these. Both of these episodes uses the use of the mirrors in the Twilight Zone was always fun.
Oh, the television cinematography is really quite striking. Now, this gentleman, Tiger, you said that he was a legend as well.
Jim Hutton. I loved Jim Hutton, and Jim Hutton, much like Robert Walker, is remarkable for me because they both made sons who look almost exactly like him and who are also actors.
Well, and that was the thing, because
And-
I was like, how do I know this actor? And then when I
Yes.
found out his last name was Hutton, I was like, is that Timothy Hutton's father?
Of course it is. How can
Yeah.
you even question it? It's like seeing Robert Walker, a picture of Robert Walker Jr. next to Robert Walker. It's like, yep.
Yeah, yeah,
They're like
it's remarkable.
clones.
Yeah, I agree. Quite remarkable.
All right. Jim Hutton here is playing Major Gart. Major Gart. He asked for some orange aid, which is something I've not heard of before. So I had to do an aside and see how it differs from orange juice. It's also included. It includes orange juice, lemon juice, and some sugar syrup, which I guess makes some sense if you need the extra sugar if you're using lemon juice.
Yeah, it's like lemonade, but with
Yeah,
orange
it's lemonade.
juice.
Well, yeah, it's just a combo.
It's slightly
I'd like to
sweetened
put some
version.
vodka in it.
Yeah. But
Why?
it's
What?
also possible that he's referring to the powdered drink that they did give astronauts, which eventually became Tang.
Oh, Tang!
Yeah, that's what I thought when
Yeah,
do you
so
want
make
some
it-
orange
there's
aid?
a little
I was like, Tang?
salty crack. Even the astronauts get a little Tang. So there's that.
Pootie Tang,
No,
which is
no,
a
don't
movie.
go there. Just leave it.
It's a movie.
Just leave it. Oh.
Well, Scotty couldn't help the shiny thing he saw in front of him. Sorry.
Yes.
That's true.
So Colonel Forbes shows Major Gart a newspaper showing both of them as returning from their journey. But there's something that's been disturbing Colonel Forbes about this. And it says, those two intrepid voyagers into the unknown returned from the unknown in a slightly dented aircraft. What about the picture? Who's in the picture? Colonel Clegg Forbes and Major William Gart, taken just before their historic flight that ended in a mysterious disappearance and crash. And so you and me and the X and the X, what is it?
X20.
X20 taking
Fireball
off about,
XL5.
You got it.
about
Super marionation at its best.
continuing about 4 hours up, we black out. And hours later, we end up in a crashed aircraft in the desert. We don't know where we've been or what's happened. And Colonel Forbes remembers a third passenger who isn't included in this news report, which seems to have been erased from history because Major Gart doesn't remember Colonel Harrington. Only Forbes remembers Harrington. And it's especially odd because Harrington was best friends with Forbes and Gart knew him for 5 years, but now no one but Forbes remembers him. So then we get a flashback to the day before, in which Forbes claims Harrington existed, and that they both got discharged from the hospital yesterday.
I
And
was
they're
so
all teasing each other, being friends, and
I was so worried that this was going to be an entire episode that was going to be in this hospital room of Rod Taylor just sitting there being like, "Why don't you believe me?" And then when the flashback happened, I was like, "Oh, thank heavens!"
Yes, that I was afraid of that too. It felt like a one-room episode at first.
And you'll be interested to know that this hospital set was the cheapest set. But what was the most expensive? The bar.
The bar makes sense.
Well, that's we'll see the bar again in the next episode.
What I read about the original short story, Disappearing Act, the main narrator, I guess Jill, you described it as a failed writer or a wannabe writer. He's showing a picture to a friend, and he says, "What do you see in this picture?" And he goes, "Well, I see you and your wife and your son." And he goes, "Yeah, but where are my 2 daughters?"
Ooh. Oh, that would be devastating.
Yeah. That's I think that's how the story starts with that a picture of the guy's family, and he's like, "Where are my 2 daughters?" And
they include a family element in here that does hit a bit like that, but not as deep.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was terrifying. I think it was terrifying when we get there. Because we'll get there. We'll get there.
We will. And I do agree with you. But I want to see both stories. It seems like they're both different stories. But I want to say hello to Penny.
Penny!
Who says hi, dude?
Penny.
Jill, Scotty, Tiger Stripes, and Stone Racket. It was a one-man craft.
But the stone isn't showing up for me.
No, I can see the stone.
I saw the tiger.
It's the thrill of the fight.
Canadian Spider-Man says, if you join the channel membership for just a couple of bucks, then you can use these emojis. The emojis show up better on the YouTube side than they do on the StreamYard side.
Eric's.
Join now and get Scotty's personal home phone number.
There we go. My personal home phone number is 7.
7.
Area code 3.
Area code 3. Yes.
The helmets that they have are those same helmets that were in The Lonely.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and you someone mentioned and Tiger, you relayed it to us that it was actually the original tank helmets for
yeah, that was somebody in the chat who caught that.
Someone in the chat, yeah.
Yes.
Now originally the aircraft in Sterling's script was an X6, but it was changed to the X-20 because it was about the time that the X-20 Dyna-Soar, short for Dynamic Soarer, was designed by the U.S. Air Force for a variety of military missions, including reconnaissance, space rescue, satellite maintenance, and the sabotage of enemy satellites. The program ran from October 24th, 1957 to December 10th, 1963, costing $660 million. Now considered one of the great what-if projects of early spaceflight, it was what the Twilight Zone needed to establish credibility and reality with the viewers. And Sterling said, with the difference between the short story and his script, he said, I felt there was no rationale there. At least if I'm dealing in outer space, I can say something or someone. And that's the end of the quote, but of course referring to the, what's going on. But the fact that the flight disappeared, and the men disappeared for 24 hours off of the radar. It's like, what happened out there?
It's a mystery of the unknown forces that they encountered out in space.
Yes, Jill, you go in outer space, you disappear.
Oh, you could. Well, they didn't know yet. They hadn't been there yet.
That's right. They hadn't been there yet.
So Gavin Blackburn says, I thought it was gray poop. And he's referring to the rock
mustard?
emoji.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
The
No,
stone
it's not.
rocket emoji.
I am not gray poop. I am a rock. I am an island. Sorry.
Sabotage.
Sabotage.
Or something.
Yeah.
So let's get to the bar.
Yeah, let's get to the bar.
And they're teasing him a bit more about and it's a really nice friendship. They get to the bar and
y'all said let's get to the bar, and we had a sudden burst of thunder. I'm sorry my mic wasn't open. It was pretty hilarious.
Now this actress here, just a second. Oh, gotta find her name.
Okay. Well, the bartender is going to serve
Gloria
them some
Paul.
free beer.
Gloria, thank you.
Or
Tiger
Pal.
Or
There's
Pal.
2 L's, so probably Paul.
Yeah.
Paul makes sense, actually. I like Paul.
Gloria Paul. My part was originally different than what you saw. I was supposed to be sitting at a table with 2 other girls, recalled Gloria Paul. Rod Serling was on the set for the 2 days I was there, and when he saw me, he had the director change it, so I was moved up to the bar. Rod Taylor was a rising star at the time I worked with him. I was more in awe of Taylor than of Serling.
Yeah. She also says he was a very nice person, one of the best in the biz at the time. And so the bartender is giving these 2 astronauts, I guess I don't call them astronauts, I call them space pilots, and they get some free beer.
Yeah.
That makes you wonder when astronaut entered our lexicon.
Probably on my birthday. No, it would have been later. No. I wonder when was this? This was filmed before October, so I wonder. That's a good question. When astronaut, because the Mercury program started in '59.
Yeah, but even now things are starting to not feel right to Harrington. He's not feeling so good, and he's even stares off a little bit disconcertingly. So Forbes ends up calling for a toast, but Harrington breaks his glass. There it is. That's when he starts feeling not so good. And so that happens.
Yeah, Jill, space aliens. Space aliens are
behind it. That's what I think too. Someone or something that feels like aliens every time.
I don't know what it was. I think it's more like Event Horizon. I think that they passed through some sort of portal.
Oh,
that's a good explanation.
It's a multiple timeline.
There you go.
In the wrong timeline.
That's another great.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like for Scotty to be Harrington and Stone Racket to be Forbes, but I'm going to put them in again because they're all together. I want it to be separate so it's easier to see what to read.
Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate the stage direction.
You're welcome. You can start reading it now. I'll get it in by the time you guys get to
Who's Harrington? I'm Harrington.
Yeah, you're Harrington.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. I just got a very funny feeling. Whew. I never felt anything like this before.
What kind of feeling?
It's like I don't belong here. Like if I was to let myself go,
You'd what?
Like I'd disappear.
He can feel himself fading from reality so badly that he feels like he really needs to call his family. He feels a disconnect.
Yeah.
Also, I did want to say that this guy's the worst bartender I've ever seen on screen, is that all he did was give them 2 cups of head. And then in subsequent shots, it was a really poured beer. But at first it was just like, here's your cup of foam.
You know what? I think I had that in my notes, but I skipped that in here. It said, I said the bartender serves them some free beer, but they have way too much head. But I skipped saying that.
Hence why it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's free. free.
But it's Pabst Blue Ribbon, so everyone's happy.
No, it's Heineken. No, wait a minute.
F that noise, Silent Bob.
That really stuck with me because I was actually drinking Heineken Dark when I saw Blue Velvet, and I was like, that made me laugh out loud.
Like, this is terrifying to me.
It is.
This is one of those things. Yeah.
Imagine calling your parents and they don't remember you.
Yeah,
and it was but it was the way that they described it. My mom came on the phone and I said, "It's your son. It's your son, Ed. I don't have a son." And then then I asked to talk to my dad, and my dad said, "Stop harassing my wife. We don't know nobody like you, you whippersnapper," or whatever he said. But the thing is, and I just think that like at that point, if you have a funny feeling, this is almost, again, maybe it's top of mind just because of the passing of David Lynch. This is Lynchian. What if you called your parents and they were like, "And you are?"
I'm Stone Racket. Don't you remember? No.
No, there are no rackets of stone here.
So, yeah, and Colonel Harrington says, as if maybe we shouldn't have come back from that flight at all. Maybe something made a mistake and let us get through, and we shouldn't have. And so Forbes then tries to comfort his friend and try to get him a drink, but then he sees the newspaper. And now the newspaper only reports Forbes and Gart have returned from the space trip.
Hey, Max Redstone. Sorry.
So only, not only is Harrington missing, so is his broken glass, and the bartender doesn't remember having served him. And you're saying Max Redstone is here. We have to say hello to him. He says, "Hey, Jill, Scotty, Stone Racket, and Tiger. I'm having a busy morning and I can't stay, but I wanted to drop by a like. Hint, hint." Thank you. Have a great stream. Appreciate you stopping by, Max Redstone. What? If you get yeah, I guess that's true. I guess if you do change your sexual identity, your parents might not recognize you.
Yeah, but if I put on a
Spider-Man.
fake, I put on a fake mustache, then my parents are still going to remember me.
yeah, right. You can have, the Groucho mask glasses on. They know who you are. You just
Why are you wearing that
those
hat?
silly glasses.
But according to Ian Fleming, if you shave your head and grow a big bushy mustache, your own mother wouldn't recognize you.
Yeah.
That's
or
right.
According to Superman, all you have to do is put on glasses.
Well, there you go. Even
you.
better.
Well, but that's a lot. That's a lot to do with posture and flying.
Yeah. So you'd save money at Christmas? Oh, no. Yes. If you make it to Christmas, if you're not disappearing from the universe, or wherever, however this is happening.
But this is a crazed man who's going through something that is completely logical and it is occurring before him, and he does not know how to confront the insanity. Is he the madman? And the answer is no.
No.
It is the
really
world
falling apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's breaking down hard.
But he's breaking down because all of the cornerstones of reality are breaking down around him. What do you do when reality breaks down around you?
I would hope that if you were a scientific person, you would stay a little calmer, but maybe that's just me. I get that that's not interesting in a film, or is it?
I thought the same thing, Tiger Stripes. I was thinking, wow, these people can't hold it together. How are they up in space?
He's
I guess
that's
probably the director directing them, more, give me more. Come on, you're falling apart, or whatever. But
yes.
Yeah.
But he does go nuts and yells at the bartender that he's crazy. He makes himself look crazy by doing that, by calling the bartender crazy.
But he's not.
I don't want to jump the gun, but he goes through a glass door, and I
Oh,
rewound that a couple times. It looked like he did that stunt himself. I was
well, you
quite
do
yeah,
want
impressed.
to
he
jump
did.
the gun. You do want to jump the gun, but that's okay. No,
That
that's
was
true. He does. He goes through that door
yeah,
like it's nothing. It means
that
nothing to him.
that was something that the director thought up on the spot. It wasn't in the script, and
Correct.
Serling really liked that, and then the sound of the of uh, uh, of Forbes
Him
walking on the
Yeah.
glass when he gets inside. Serling really got a
Walking
kick out of
on,
that.
walking on broken glass.
Yeah,
Well,
Serling did
that
like.
was later.
Well, and
Also,
that's
That was
the
Amy
because
song, I
Lemmons,
love
yeah.
the sound of breaking glass.
Yeah,
Me too.
There we go.
If you don't believe me, then why did you
Ooh.
ask?
Tiger stripes. That sounds beautiful. I can hear
It's
it.
out of my control.
I'm so glad it's out of your control. Oh, it sounds lovely. I love the sound of thunder.
Oh, or as Lily Munster would say, "Oh, goody, thunder."
Oh, goody. Oh, and that happens. That whole glass door is such a striking thing to happen in this episode when we get to it. And it happens because Serling told the director, think, it he doesn't ever say stick to the script. He says to think like the Twilight Zone. Do what you think would be Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the quote in front of me because it's later on in my notes.
Yeah, that's it's Douglas Keyes, right, that directed this. Yeah.
Douglas.
Right. Because I think I remember that quote where they both Buck Houghton and Serling were really encouraging to the director to kind of, you don't have to follow it to the letter if you think something up that's really, eerie or more like you said, Jill, to make it like the Twilight Zone.
Douglas Hayes.
I feel
yes.
bad. Sorry?
Douglas Hayes was the director.
Douglas Hayes, thank you.
Yes.
I feel bad for Amy.
Yes, and that's who we are meeting right now. He turns to, I don't know if this is his wife or his girlfriend, who he was supposed to meet at the bus station, but this whole situation with his friend disappearing has understandably shook him, and I mean, it's understandable to us. But to her, she's probably going wild listening to him talk about a man that she doesn't know, that doesn't exist to her knowledge. To prove with the telegram, which obviously isn't going to say what he thinks it says.
I really like the performance though, because it's not like she doesn't look at Clegg as being, first of all, what kind of a name is Clegg? Is it short for anything? Anyway, I think that Amy looks at Clegg and is like, I want to help you, but I have no idea what you're saying. She doesn't come off as judgmental or you're crazy. She's like, I don't know an Ed. What are we talking about? Like, it's frightening.
When I say that she could be going wild, I mean, inside her mind, obviously, outwardly, she's very sympathetic. She embraces him. She doesn't show that she's fearful of him at all. So she's a very supportive partner.
She is. And the actress playing Amy is Maxine Cooper, who played Velda, Mike Hammer's secretary in the classic Kiss Me Deadly film from 1955.
Very nice. And so we have Forbes
and then
calling the general
about
Ed. And he's trying to remain calm, but he ends up screaming at his superior officer, hanging up the phone and crying. And there is that sense where I agree with Tiger Stripes. He's going off deep end, but he's also making me feel what he's feeling. And I'm like, I remember Harrington. Don't worry, Forbes, I'm with you.
In terms of characterization and him trying to figure out what's going on, like I was waiting throughout this episode to find out what the opposing force was. What is driving Clegg? And then he's just like, okay, so as a member of the military, as a pilot, I should ask my superior officer, appeal to authority, find out if they know. And if they don't know, then I'm lost. I'm adrift. And I found it very unsettling. And that's when, like, this mental break This mental break is completely founded. This is something I empathize where Rod Taylor is going in this. And I'm just like, oh, okay. At a certain point, you have to say, you're playing a trick. This is a gag.
Yeah, that's
I'm
exactly
going
what he's
back to the
saying in this.
bar.
And I didn't know how many stories were in this building. Unfortunately, they were on the ground floor, so he jumps off of the balcony.
Yeah, you thought that too? I thought he was going to jump out the window. I was like, it's early for this episode to end.
Yeah, exactly. I was very fearful of that, but it was just, no, it's fine. He's running to the bar.
That's me
Ooh,
again.
Lovely.
Yeah. I can mute if
that
you
sounded
want.
like
No,
that sounded like
cool.
angels rolling a strike.
Yeah.
We
I
haven't
get
we
that.
haven't said anything about Charles Aidman, who played Harrington. He was, boy, that guy had legs. He just worked and worked and worked.
Really prolific.
Yeah, that's amazing. Television, but he just never stopped working every year, year in and year out, all the way up until he passed, which was a little untimely, but wow. And he's
How
one
old
of my
was
very
he?
favorite. He was 68, I think. He
that's
was
not
in one of my very favorite Twilight Zone episodes, Little Girl Lost.
Oh, that's right. He
And,
plays the father.
No, I think
No,
he plays the scientist they
he-
call in to help
Oh,
them.
I'm
That's
sorry.
kind of, there's
Yeah.
that contrast between his calm demeanor and then Taylor kind of chewing the scenery in this one.
Oh, thank you for shining a light on him. We did get through his appearance really quickly.
Yeah.
So let me
He's
see.
got such a familiar face, and now I know why, because, boy, that guy just worked.
Oh, Canadian Spider-Man has a theory. It's probably the Chinese.
Yeah.
Well, this is
That one's a funny-
1959. I don't think they had a space program.
It's
Yeah,
the North Koreans.
Well, that's the thing about the Chinese. You don't know they have a space
Yeah, that's
program.
right.
Yeah. No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
That's right.
Here it is. Okay,
Now
so
now I'm thinking about the comfy cushions and the comfy chairs, Scotty.
Yeah, makes sense.
in desperation, he goes to look for Harrington at the bar, going so far as to smash through the door's window, as we stated before. So now he's breaking and entering, but your heart starts to break with him as he breaks down. Him
Yeah,
remembering.
it's hard to see. It's always, yeah, he's very credible.
Yeah, he brings you with him into his performance. You definitely believe it.
He also shows you that he's not crazy. Like through the flashback, we are presented with Ed lives. Ed was a person, and it was torn away, and he was torn away. And it's like, what do you do when just everyone around you forgets a person that you love? Like,
And
what
that was
happened?
a beautiful shot, Jill. It's lovely that
Yeah.
you caught that. He's like staring through the legs of that chair like the bars of a prison.
But like, what?
And the shadows. That's beautiful composition right there.
Yeah. But also, like, I did also at this point in the teleplay, in terms of the performance, I was like, is this as much about him, like, terrified about the dismissal of his best friend? It felt peppered with, what if I'm next? It's like, if they can forget him, what if they forget me? And this is the part of the episode where I was just like, oh no, he's fearing his own existence. And then we do get to that. They do narratively through
That's
dialogue.
absolutely right, because it is shown that you can feel yourself disappearing. And it makes sense that at first that is a very faint feeling. And it gets stronger over time.
Like butter spread over too much bread.
Oh. Lord of the Rings reference, nice.
Yeah, Bilbo.
Bilbo Baggins, King of the
too.
Wild Frontier.
Yeah,
Bilbo to Gandalf. That's what he says. But anyway.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But he still doesn't want to give up that ring. But if you want to hear Tiger Stripes and I talk about that, check out my videos. We've got 6 chapters out. Well, 5 chapters. 6th one will be out on Thursday. So, just it's worse than if his friend had died, and everyone could grieve with him. He has to grieve alone, also.
Yeah, good point.
And so, oh wait, these notes. I think these are. You guys already covered all of these. Good job, everyone. I can skip this. I can skip the. I can skip.
Or you can hit him again.
You can do whatever you want, lady.
Okay. Well, Cronenberg says. Okay. I think there's another shot in this bar that I like. Where is it? Oh, he's in the booth, the phone booth.
I miss phone booths.
I kind of do too.
Superman does too.
Where else am I supposed to? Yeah, I did.
You found a phone booth. Did you go in it?
No. I was afraid.
Okay.
Yeah, he's afraid he would disappear.
Be pulled out of the Matrix.
Yeah.
Oh, that was it. The only way though, you'd have to pick up the phone to get out of the Matrix.
Well, what else do you do in a phone booth except pick up the phone?
Check the change return for change with your kid.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. I always need quarters. Or in 1959, dimes.
Yeah.
And so they reiterate the line from earlier that Harrington told Forbes. He says, he told me maybe somebody or something made a mistake, let us get through, and we shouldn't have gotten through. They've got to come back to get us. Somebody up there. Ah, Bill, this is weird. Just plain weird. Like I just don't belong.
And that's when the terror sets in.
Yes, and that's where it's like I just don't. Oh no, I don't want this to happen, Bill. I don't want this to happen, and he runs off. And so now Bill is in Forbes' shoes, being the only one who remembers Forbes, and with Forbes gone, the memory of Harrington went with him, and when Bill Gart goes, the memory of both him and Forbes will be gone as well. So whatever let the ship return to Earth has reclaimed them and blotted them out of existence.
Well, but I love this, and I don't know why Bill is in the hospital, but he runs out and he's like, "Help that man!" His leg. Well, yeah, but he's running to the door, so none of this is credible, and he goes, "Help that man! Help that man!" And then we see the nurse from the beginning who's like,
"Adrenaline."
Who are you referring to?
Mm-hmm.
And so finally, Bill is convinced of what Clegg has been going through.
Yes.
And unfortunately, he's the next guy.
Right. And it happens so quickly. They just say, hey, you need to lay down. And that's the last time he sees Forbes' bed is gone. Mm-hmm. And now his bed is... And so lone spaceman completes journey, lands in desert. So he went on that spacecraft all by himself, which is
it's pronounced Spaceman.
Oh, it's spaceman?
Spaceman.
No, it's
Spaceman.
The lone spaceman.
Spaceman.
That's an obviously SNL reference, right?
Yeah, no, it's a 30 Rock reference, but no one gets it. Anyway, moving on.
I've seen a few episodes of that. It's okay. So now he's the last one for just a few moments. His existence doesn't last much longer. And now we cut to the nurse talking to the director of the hospital, saying, "This room's empty. We can fill it with some patients. Let's get some beds." And not only that, now also the X-20 spacecraft is also gone.
Yes.
So we need somebody to read.
But Jill, are we sure it was the X-20? It probably was the X-6 by the time the last astronaut disappeared, right?
Oh, you think the aircraft got smaller and smaller each time?
Well, it's just that, the X-20 is designed for 3 astronauts. So would it still be the X-20 if it was just a lone spaceman? It's like, well,
I like that. I like that. What were you Where are you coming from there?
Yeah, on the Blu-ray, they have a commentary. They have a track where you can listen to Serling talking to his students at Sherman Oaks College, and one of the students, writing students, said, "Well, why was the tarp still there and the barrier at the end? What's the purpose of that if
I
there was
have
no
that
ship?"
question too.
And Serling was like, "Well, that's a good point." It's like, well, I know why, and so the audience can, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
the X-20 disappeared too.
Yeah,
Because
but
if they
that's
just show,
also
if they show just the empty hangar, it'd be, well, wait a minute, is that where the ship was, or
Well, maybe
it-
they should have lined up the barriers. Like it's not barricading anything, but they're there for something else.
yeah, that
Later.
could be, yeah. Let's remake the episode, Jill.
Okay.
well, but I think it's just a great representation of things fading away. Again, it's the same sort of thing as
It's
the
a good
newspaper.
visual, right? It's a good visual, and it's just the audience knows exactly what's going on immediately. It's just an immediate visual clue there. So
what a waste of a tarpeen.
That's where I really wanted some logical thinking and realization on the part of the space pilots. So it would have been great if the last guy standing had run and gotten into that craft.
Oh, that would have been
yes.
As it dissolved. And I realized
That
we're
would be
asking for a
awesome.
visual that they didn't have money for, but they could have done it with cuts and
Well, whoever's going to read
coming back and forth.
Whoever's going to read
that's what I would have liked.
Force of habit. Tiger, which is a cat, by the way. Tiger, can you read the closing?
Well, isn't
narration?
that for Jill to say?
No, it's me.
I agree.
I get to choose this.
I will allow.
All right. Once upon a time, there was a man named Harrington, a man named Forbes, a man named Gart. They used to exist, but don't any longer. Someone or something took them somewhere. At least they are no longer a part of the memory of man. And as to the X-20 supposed to be housed here in this hangar, this too does not exist. And if any of you have any questions concerning an aircraft and 3 men who flew her, speak softly of them, and only in the Twilight Zone.
Hot damn.
Yeah.
And that narration is what really got me with this episode, is because guys, we're going to disappear now because we were talking about it. This was like a breaking of the fourth wall. And I was like, what is this episode all about? And it was like, if you start talking about it, you're going to fade from existence too. And it was frightening. Just to be like, I can't even tell people that I know. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Scotty, we have to talk softly.
All right.
Yeah, if we talk softly, then maybe we can still exist.
We won't disappear.
Okay. So, I guess, but we don't really get any kind of explanation. But that's okay. We don't always need one.
Where's Scotty? Oh no, Scotty disappeared. And then you Tiger Stripes and Jill, you go, who's Scotty?
Oh no.
I think he did that on purpose.
Yeah. Dramatic effect.
Yes. I hope he did that on purpose.
Very effective.
That's perfect timing.
Yeah.
Greek Lars Larson says, "Speak up, damn it. I can hardly hear you."
Yeah, we have to have Scotty back so we can cover the next episode.
Yes. But I can get through the credits here.
Yeah.
Directed by Douglas Hayes. Rod Serling teleplay based on the story by Richard Matheson. Rod Taylor starring with James Hutton and Charles Aiden.
Yep.
And all these wonderful people too. Music by Leonard Rossman. And he exists.
No, I'm kidding. I exist.
Scotty, you're back just in time for the next episode. Uh-oh.
Yes. Yes, we're going to... Oh, no. It's going on its own.
Stop
it right there.
Run away.
All right. So first, I'm going to read the chat. Gavin Blackburn says Dr. Crusher could operate the Enterprise D all by herself. Well, okay, that wasn't real.
Sure.
That wasn't really the Enterprise D. It was all it was all in her head. It was all, she was in some kind of like other zone of reality because of a stupid experiment that Wesley Crusher did. DJ Play Nice says, gotta roll out. Have an awesome day. And he says, be safe, have fun, take care of your crew, and rock.
Rock.
What? Why does Scotty keep disappearing? What's going on with him?
I'm here. I'm here.
You went backstage for some reason.
I didn't do that.
Neither did I. Someone or
Ghosts.
something. Lance from the Outcast Creative is here. Hello, Lancey, listening in at the doctor's waiting room. Not seen most of these. I was too young. Oh, wow.
Well, but that's the best part. This is the best part, is that I've never seen the Twilight Zone myself. And so going through them with friends is so fun.
I've seen lots of them, but I know I haven't seen all of them. But this is one I've seen. This one gets a lot of airplay. It's one of the Christmas episodes, What You Need.
Which one?
Good call. I mean, I was hearing a Christmas motif in the music all the way through the episode. So
Yes,
I'm like, is this a Christmas episode? And that's good to have that confirmed.
Yeah. Also Serling's preview. He has Christmas presents. And he's talking about gifts. But this aired in December, right, Jill?
Yes, December 25th, 1959, exactly on Christmas Day.
Oh, it did on Christmas Day? That's interesting.
Wow, that's nice and eerie.
Yeah, that's interesting because usually they Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, they have things preempted for special programming, but hey, they didn't for 1959.
That means they considered the Twilight Zone by now special programming.
Well,
there you go.
I mean, I'll save it till we're in the episode. I have an observation.
Okay, good.
That only just came to me.
Nice. I hope you remember it. Write it down.
But Tiger Stripes has already gotten ready beforehand to cover this episode because her avatar is Arlene Martell.
I know.
Credited here as Arlene Sachs.
Mm-hmm.
Right, her birth name.
Mm-hmm.
Smoke show.
So the story. So as I said, it first aired. What You Need first aired on December 25th, 1959. The story by credit goes to Louis Paget. Paget.
Yeah.
And the teleplay was written by Rod Serling. This one was directed by Alvin Ganzer, and with the music by Nathan Van Cleve, which is a very familiar name.
Yeah.
And so then we cut to the bar. Yeah. So we have another bar.
Yes, indeed.
I love bar hopping.
But the bartender is kind of upset at this one customer named Fred. We don't just rent space. And Fred says, is that a fact? And how would you like to take a flying jump at the moon? And so this exchange is just here to show what a rude person Fred is. He's really lucky the bartender didn't bounce him out of there for being such a jerk.
Well, and if you didn't know, the opening narration really tells you what kind of a jagoff this guy is.
Oh, yes, that too. And do you want to read the opening narration or do you want to read the closing narration?
Opening.
Okay.
Please.
And yes, classic comics, we will get to Japring. I want to wait until we see her. There, is that right? Oh, yeah, there it is.
Oh, I love this because it reminds me of me. You're looking at Mr. Fred Renard, who carries on his shoulder a chip the size of the national debt. This is a sour man, a friendless man, a lonely man, a grasping, compulsive, nervous man. This is a man who has lived 36 undistinguished, meaningless, pointless, failure-laden years, and who at this moment looks for an escape. Any escape, any way, anything, anybody to get out of the rut. And this little old man is just what Mr. Renard has been waiting for. Was that too Casey Kasem? It felt a little too Casey Kasem.
I don't know if it was or not, or who that is, but I liked it.
It makes me wonder if Rod influenced Casey or the other way around. Or
one way or another, it sounded great. Yep. And
you don't know who Casey Kasem is? Oh my goodness!
Don't. This is not America's Top 40. And
tell her about
this request is going out.
Scooby-Doo.
This request is going out to the Twilight Zone.
To the Twilight Zone.
I watched Scooby-Doo when I was a kid.
Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Yeah, Casey Kasem talked for Shaggy.
He was also Robin in the Batman and Robin in the 70s.
Oh, in the 70s, yeah.
Yeah, for like Super Friends?
Yeah, so Super Friends, yeah, right.
Anyway.
His claim to fame was he was a disc jockey.
You got it.
First and foremost.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, anyway, Fred witnesses this old man who has actually, when I looked at, I don't know much about his career except that he started working on TV when TV was a brand new thing. So that's one thing about him that I know for sure. But wait, what is his name anyway? His name is
Ernest Truex.
Ernest Truex, yes. And he plays Dot, but we don't know his name until the end of the episode. But that's fine to know his name. But it does keep it a bit mysterious to not know it, I suppose. He's walking around giving people what they need. He's like a salesman. He's kind of a salesman, but he doesn't really require payment. He just wants to give people what they need. He thinks of what they need, and suddenly his box has exactly what they need. And he gives this girl, he seems to know she needs some cleaning fluid. And now this lady is only referred to as girl in the bar, but we know her as, as Star Trek fans, as
T'Pring.
And she is Arlene Martell, and here she's listed as Arlene Sachs, as that's her birth name.
She also had the lead female role in the Outer Limits episode Demon with a Glass Hand.
Yeah, with Robert Culp.
Which is pretty
written
much...
by Harlan Ellison.
Yeah, I think unarguably the best episode of Outer Limits ever.
I've heard that, yes. I need to check that out. It's
a top tier episode, especially considering it was in the weaker second season of Outer Limits, but it was definitely the best of that season, if not the entire series, like Tiger Strep said. Yeah, you gotta see that, Jill. You gotta watch that one.
Of course. So she's got the cleaning fluid, and she wanted matches. She never gets her matches. And Fred's just still watching. There's also a baseball player who can't play anymore due to a bad arm, and the salesman knows he needs a bus ticket to Scranton, Pennsylvania, and the bartender laughs. Maybe he can dig coal. But then the ex-player gets a phone call about a coaching job in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and he's thrilled and perplexed how the salesman knew what he needed. But now he realizes he won't look so great with the stained jacket. So we have the girl in the bar use her cleaning fluid to get rid of the stain.
And me being a hopeless romantic, I'm hoping that they get together.
Well, what else purpose would that be for?
Yeah.
But actually, though, the only thing that counts against your hopeless romanticism is that apparently the magic only works once. So you only need the item once. So,
but maybe that's enough for this lovely young couple.
I don't know. He's leaving town.
Yeah, he is leaving town. She'd have to uproot her entire life.
Yeah, but maybe that's what she needs. I don't know.
Oh, Could be. But now Fred's eyeing the salesman at this. He accosts the man outside, but oh wait, I have something from the companion here. For what you need, the crew return to the comfortable backlots of the Metro. The original story by Henry Cutter and C.L. Moore under the pseudonym of Louis Paget. Oh, it's two people. Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known. Wow. They worked under one name. Concerned a scientist who invented a machine that could read people's probable futures and gave them what they needed to be guided in a certain direction. Serlin liked the idea, but not the scientists or the machine. So he basically took out the science fiction element.
Yeah,
So
totally. Yeah. It was originally telecast, the original story was telecast on Tales of Tomorrow in, I think, 52 or 53. And instead of a peddler, the scientist, or instead of, the scientist has this machine in the back room of his curio shop. And so people come into this curio shop and receive what they need. And it's after the scientist, he goes in the back room and then he comes out with what they need. So he uses this machine to see their future. And this reporter, played by William Redfield, has been observing this. And he's, instead of this street thug, like in this episode, it's this reporter that is demanding. And the scientist eventually, using his machine, he sees that the reporter will eventually come into the curio shop and kill him and steal his machine. And
so that's very similar. It's very similar.
Yeah, but it has the same ending as this episode, involving the last item of what you need.
Yes.
The shoes.
Yes. When we'll get to that, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Classic Comics says, I was just reading about the Muck Time episode last night. I'll do a stream on it in a couple of weeks. Yes, you are doing original series reviews. That's wonderful.
Oh, cool.
Oh, but you're okay. That sounds great. And the salesman, yeah. So in this case, like you said, it's a street thug, not a reporter. I didn't even know about the reporter. You've read. It seems like you read the whole story, the other story, or saw the episode of Tales from Tomorrow.
The Tales from Tomorrow production is on the Blu-ray as a extra feature for this episode.
Neat.
And
That's
but
awesome.
I actually found it on YouTube years before,
Mm-hmm.
and I was able to watch it. It's an early Kinescope reproduction, and it has all the sponsor ads in it. It's all kind of one program, and
I love that.
But it has all the sponsors, and but yeah, it's kind of, I'm glad Serling changed it the way he did, making it more of a fantasy.
He does that a lot though. When he wants to personify something, even if it's something that's ethereal, he puts a person in its place.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's replacing the science fiction. But here, Fred is...
Rod really loves his supernatural street peddlers.
There you go.
Yes, he does. Well, we have Fred, who accosts the man outside, forces him to tell him what he needs. The salesman is hesitant. He doesn't want to do it. But he eventually acquiesces and tells him he needs scissors. And so that's what he apparently needs. So Fred goes back to his apartment and he goes into the elevator where his scarf gets caught in the door. And it definitely, you can tell that Fred was hesitant to help Fred, but he does anyway. And I guess
go ahead.
My guess was, so this was my guess before I knew before I remembered the end of, even though I'd seen it before, that he knows that Fred is undeserving of his gifts. But since I'd seen it before, it was just like a remembrance.
Yeah, the reporter also gets a pair of scissors, and his scarf gets caught in a small printing press when he goes back to his publisher.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that's a good similarity.
Mm-hmm.
And Fred, of course, figures the man can look into the future and thinks he's wasting his clairvoyant talent. He somehow figures out where Pidot lives, and
Yeah,
he's
that's
just sitting.
it's like, how did he
How
know
did that
that?
happen? Like he's just sitting there. It's really creepy.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. But, we'll go with the flow.
Okay, fine. And he says, the Pidot says, I have this talent, but I use it sparingly. I must use it sparingly. And so Fred thinks that he's wasting his time with this and that he can make money with this talent, and asks him what he needs again. And this time he gets a leaky pen. And the ink falls on a newspaper telling him the winner of the next horse race. And of course, the poor seer, his powers are being abused. There it is. Apparently, staunch soldier is going to win.
And take a look at the jockeys. We got a Serling, we got a Clemens, and we got a Houghton.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. For Buck Houghton, the producer, and George Clemens, the cinematographer.
Yeah, there you go. Shifty Sal. Okay. Anyhow, we've got now he's very happy. He can go win some money.
And how much does he win?
He wins $240.
Yeah, it's too bad it couldn't have been more like 25,000. No,
but it is like 25,000. Wait,
that's right. That's right.
It's
inflation.
Like 25. It's like more like 2,500.
2,500
with inflation.
Yeah,
$240 today, but from back then today would be $2,611.90.
There you go.
So not so bad. Not as much as 25,000, but definitely better than 240.
Yeah.
And this guy, he doesn't really understand how this works. He thinks it's a magic pen now, and he wants another newspaper.
Yeah.
But it's the ink is dried because the items only work once. Pidot explains that the item only works one time. He's cutting off Fred as a customer, and I would too. He's such a jerk. And actually, by cutting off Fred as a customer, he's actually trying to save Fred's life. Get out of here. He's trying to see if Fred will just leave. And
but the story is so beautiful. Anyway, doesn't he look like a Neanderthal George Clooney? I think I've said that before on this show. Like, doesn't this actor...
when he was sitting in the bar, the first person I thought of was Sheldon Leonard. I said to myself, "Is that Sheldon Leonard?"
Yeah.
What, from The Big Bang Theory?
No, he's a
That's
producer.
who they were named after. They were named after Sheldon Leonard.
Okay.
Sheldon Leonard was a big 60s producer, but he also started as an actor.
Yeah.
Most notably, he was the bartender in It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, my.
And he also played, he was a gangster.
But anyway, I'm not talking about Sheldon Leonard because this guy has, my gosh, his IMDb is amazing.
What do we got?
He was everything. You just
okay.
name it.
Was he Batman?
No, it's not really his credits. It's his personal life.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He died mysteriously. He was a tabloid bad boy.
Oh.
But he's great.
Just
like he's great in this episode.
He was really something. He was very good. He's very effective.
Yes. And I'm glad you're back, Scotty, because I want you to be Fred and Sunracket to be Pidot. And I've got a few lines in the chat I would like you to read.
Where do we start? Okay. Well, I don't start, so that's great.
Yeah. It must stop now.
Who? Why? Why does it have to stop?
Because the thing you need most, I can't supply.
What are they?
Serenity, peace of mind, humor, the ability to laugh at oneself. Those are the things you need most, but it's beyond my power to give them to you.
Kind of like She-Hulk.
Fred doesn't take any of this to heart.
No.
That's not what Fred wants. Fred has no interest in becoming a better person, even after hearing the truth from probably the wisest person to ever actually give him some advice and take the time to talk to him.
Like, is he a leprechaun?
He is a sort of a dark Santa Claus. This is a Christmas episode.
I don't think he's dark at all.
I think
he's lovely. I think he's I think he's a guardian
angel. Lovely right up to the point where he kills somebody.
Yeah. Well, no, but the thing is, it's like
it's self-preservation.
Yes, it's like admittedly self-defense.
Maybe he's a genie, and Fred is the kind of guy.
He's a dark Santa Claus. He gives people
I understand
gifts.
that you believe that, but I'm trying to work it out because I still think that there's a benevolence and there is. God helps those who help themselves. And with Fred being such a beggar, like he's the guy who's asking a genie for, I get 3 wishes. I want 3 more wishes. And it's like, no, you can't do that. Come on, just play by the rules. And if you are going to suffer the avarice of getting anything you want, then I am, I gotta take care of you, man, because I don't need groupies. I'm a genie. I'm a guardian angel. But if you found out my secret, I'm sorry, you cannot live.
Okay, so let me get through this.
Yes,
so
please.
Like before, Fred accosts Pidot, and like before, Pidot gets that look on his face, like he can't help but manifest what Fred needs. So Fred rummages through the suitcase, and
I gave you $2,400. Go away.
Oh. And Pidot gets this expression on his face, very regretful, fearful, depressed. That's why I don't think he's dark. He doesn't want to do what he's doing, but he has to see that Fred is digging in for the thing he needs, and this exchange happens. So I'd like you guys to read these 2 things.
You will never find peace until you rest, Fred.
So then
I have to rest you.
And there it is.
Okay. So Tiger, you be Fred, and Jill, you be Pidot.
Okay,
let me get all the Fred's intention. I don't think that's Jill's intention.
No, I know, but I'm flipping the table.
Yeah, he did. I guess we could. Who's Fred? Am I Fred?
You're Fred.
Okay.
So.
Tiger, it starts off as, oh, please don't, but in however you want to say
Pidot. Tiger's going to be Pidot. She starts.
Oh, please don't.
Come on. Oh, that was the line. I thought you were actually asking not to do it.
That's acting.
These shoes are too tight. And they got leather soles. I hate leather soles. They're slippery.
Patience. That's another thing that you need, Mr. Renard. Patience.
What are you doing? Giving me the business? Is that what you're doing? Giving me the business? I can come over there and take you apart bone by bone. Come on, old man. Tell me, are these what I need?
I didn't say they were, but I'll tell you something. They happen to be what I need. Mr. Renard, what I saw in your eyes at that bar was death. My death. You were going to kill me. So what was needed for Mr. Renard was slippery shoes. That's what was needed. Slippery shoes. Oh, that's a great photo.
Mm-hmm.
Good one, Joe.
That's an album cover.
That's great. Oh, speaking of album covers, here again, IMDb says that Morrissey was named after this man, which is pretty mind-bending.
Oh.
I know.
Wow.
Talk about connecting the dots.
Oh, I love the dots. You know what's funny? The guy who plays Mr. Pidot, I don't know the actor's name. As soon as I saw him in this episode, like, he doesn't look exactly like my grandfather. He's shorter than my grandfather, but I was like, oh, hey, what's going on? You're the best. I love you, Dark Santa Claus.
Ernest Truex.
I wanted to ask Stone Racket. You were telling us the parallels between both episodes. How does the parallel for Fred die in the Tales from Tomorrow script?
Yeah, he anxiously grabs the shoes and puts them on, thinking this is exactly what he needs. And he's with his gal pal, and he's crossing the street, but it's slippery, and he also gets hit by a car.
Oh, so it's this. Oh, you were right. Okay, the same.
And then
ending.
Captain Kirk stops McCoy from saving
it's because we saw what the scientists saw, and that was the reporter coming in with a gun and a silencer on the gun, killing him in his back room of his curio shop, and then stealing his machine.
Yeah.
So we know why we know why he gave him the shoes at the end, just like in this episode.
Well, I like isn't the end,
but the Serling's adaptation is much. It's just superior to the Tales of Tomorrow, or the original short story, I should say. But if you get the Blu-ray of Twilight Zone, the Tales of Tomorrow adaptation is an extra on the Blu-ray. So.
Oh wow! Mm-hmm. Is that in the box set? The clamshell?
Yep. I think it's also on the DVD set, but I know for sure it's on the Blu-ray because I watched it.
I've got season 2 and season 3 on DVD, but I don't have season 1.
Oh, you got to get season 1.
Tell me about it. Too. Anyway, so Phil Silvers here shows up all ragged.
Phil Silvers.
And the thing is, and the last thing that Dark Santa does is he's like, can I sell you something? And he's like, are you kidding? There's been a hit and run. And he's like, yeah, no, I saw it. And it's like, this is what you need. Just take it. Just free of charge. And so he's like, what the hell? Crazy Dark Santa gave me a comb. And then Crazy Dark Santa fades into the night, into the smog. And but they're taking pictures because there's been a hit and run. So they're taking pictures of the body and they want to see witnesses. So they take a picture of this lovely couple. And it's like, make yourself presentable. And so he pulls the comb and just combs. And it's so beautiful in the storytelling because it's visual storytelling and it is performance. Because you're expecting someone to be like, it's just what I needed. But he doesn't say anything. He says it with a look, puts the comb back into his pocket, and the camera pans up, and it's a glorious, just little, you know what? Dark Santa wasn't a dick. He wasn't doing, you know who the dick was? Fred. Fred was sitting there asking for more wishes. Fuck Fred. Pardon my French for a Tuesday.
Yeah, and he would have kept going. He would have kept accosting Pitot and would have sent him to an early grave in his greed.
Self-defense.
So luckily, Pitot was able to stop him.
Yeah, and all it took was a pair of slippery shoes. In the street. I don't know. I'm trying to make it sound like Clue.
So, Stone Racket, could you read the closing narration?
Certainly. Street scene. Night. Traffic accident. Victim named Fred Renard. Gentleman with a sour face to whom contentment came with difficulty. Fred Renard, who took all that was needed in the Twilight Zone. Ooh, there's the last shot.
No.
Ooh, I do like that. It's just very simple shots the Twilight Zone has that are very
wait,
powerful.
go back one? It looks like faces laughing as well. Is this a Rorschach chest? Yes.
Yes, I believe it is. It's a pretty creepy thing, though, when somebody gets knocked out of their shoes by being hit by a car, and people do.
Yeah.
It's kind of eerie how it happens.
It's lovely. I just think that these 2 episodes were fantastic. And
also,
now that
you called that guy who needed the comb by a different actor's name, and really, who he looks like is Chris Parnell, who also played Dr. Spaceman
Yes.
I believe, right?
He does look like Chris Parnell. Yeah,
he does look like Chris Parnell. So we're tying that back together to your
I appreciate the full circle.
Spaceman reference.
We'll just say it's Phil Silver's brother.
No, he looks like Chris Parnell.
Is it really?
He looks a lot like Chris Parnell.
Okay.
I'll see if I can find him in my book here.
Yes, please do. I'll be right back. I've got to step away for just a minute.
All right.
While we argue about
yes.
the cone
about
guy.
About Dr. Spaceman.
Yes, Dr. Spaceman.
I love the absurdity. This is so fun, though. Like, seriously, guys, like waking up this morning, watching 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone, and then being able to hang out and jaw about it like it's a book club. This is the best. I'm having a great time. And you know what? Everyone in the chat, don't forget to tell everybody else about this book club. If you want to see the episode and you want to talk about it, you're having a good time.
Yeah, there's several credits for Man in Street. So
yes.
It's nothing specific than that. Nothing more specific than that.
Fred Krueger. That's a great name.
Fred Krueger.
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street.
And then
good
we
call.
have Ron Nyman, Man Street. John Pedrini. And yeah, it's one of those guys.
Well, but what was the wife's name? She was plain as all get out.
She was also somebody too. She reminded, I recognized her face.
Every time I see someone who looks like that, I figure it's Mrs. Hathaway from the Beverly Hillbillies.
Junie Ellis.
There's Evelyn Connor, his Woman in Street.
Really? Not Junie Ellis?
I'm sorry, what?
Junie Ellis.
Maybe.
Judy Ellis is Woman in Street.
It says here. Not
yeah,
Judy,
Woman on Street.
Junie.
Yeah, Judy Ellis.
Oh, Doris Carnes. It's probably Doris Carnes. Her name is familiar because her face was very familiar.
Well, Doris Carnes is the woman customer.
What was she in King Kong at some point? The thing, this is part of the fun, is that watching The Twilight Zone is like a yearbook of old-timey actors. It's great. If you guys have any information, I got nothing.
Oh,
yeah. It's fun to see.
I was also looking up Ernest Truex, who, my gosh, that guy went back to, I think, The Silence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No
His
doubt.
first work was in 1913.
Uh-huh.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
But, oh, wait, I missed the T'Pring thing. I was going to say, and unfortunately this week we have no Star Trek actors, but was T'Pring in here?
Yep,
Yeah, Arlene Martell. That's my icon today.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's T'Pring?
Yes.
Yeah, Arlene Martell. Yeah.
And she was very young.
Very young,
By the time she was playing, like about, I guess it would have only been, let's see, 5 years later, 6 years later.
Mm-hmm.
She had a little more modeling in her face. Age can do that to people. It brings your cheekbones out.
I suppose. Well, and also, she's clearly not Vulcan in this picture. Or not clearly, I can't see.
But I do have something from my book, but should I wait till Jill gets back, or?
Well, it's up to you. If you want to impress us, you can do it now. If you want to wait till Jill gets here, then you can impress her.
You missed when I agreed with the classic comics that she was T'Pring.
Yeah, and Arlene Martell says, my role as the girl in the bar was very important to the story. The dialogue was easy to remember. I only had a few lines to say. I did a lot of television at the time. I was Tiger in a number of Hogan's Heroes. But do you think I get more fan mail because of my recurring role on Hogan's Heroes? No. Those few days of filming The Twilight Zone has brought me more fan mail than any other, which is kind of surprising because I would think Star Trek. I would think Star Trek would bring her.
Yeah, I would have thought so too.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe she doesn't like Star Trek, and she's just.
She may have been playing it down.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
For that
too.
moment in time, because she was being interviewed about
Twilight Zone. But yeah,
there was a musical flourish all through this episode that I made a note that it reminded me of God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, and now I realize as it is a Christmas episode, it absolutely was a flourish on God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen.
Oh, wow.
So it was all through the
So
episode.
rest,
Very
Fred.
nicely
Have some
cut,
shoes.
Well, I had to throw that in there to get in between the guys hollering.
I was hollering.
Well done.
Yeah, sometimes you holler.
Well, now I know her for both, and I appreciate it.
And soon you will know her for also the Outer Limits episode that we recommended.
Yeah, we all need to review that one someday.
Oh, yes.
That one and Soldier. We need to do them together and then talk
about
I
should do.
How they were ripped off the Terminator.
Don't forget the poll, by the way.
I would think
the poll. I totally forgot the poll.
Yes, there's a poll. There's a poll where you can choose. I don't necessarily want to rate the Twilight Zone, but I do like to pick which one's my favorite. And so. But
you know what? I would say the only way you can rate the Twilight Zone is through comparison.
I don't want to. Yeah.
And for me, I'm going to say I like this better than the Burgess Meredith one. And when I say that, I mean the Rod Taylor one. That's a better episode than I Can't Read.
I'm glad I'm not the only person with the occasional brain fart. Burgess Meredith.
Yeah,
where did you pull that out from?
Time Enough at Last.
I like When the Sky Opens better than Time Enough at Last.
But
really,
do you like? Which is your favorite of the two that we reviewed today, Scotty?
Oh, When the Sky Opens. If I'm going up against the best.
Yeah.
I was confused why you were talking about an episode from a different time. I think it's just because you wanted to attack my favorite episode.
My favorite... I didn't want to attack anything. I'm just saying in terms of ratings. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying my personal favorites.
Of these two, the second is my favorite, What You Need. I would have to pick it over the first one.
Yeah, my favorite is And the Sky Was Open of the two.
Remember the one when it was like the salesman and you
found out that this one.
One for the Angels.
It's Christmas.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas
I like this one better than one
kind
for
of
the
mine. I never realized this was a Christmas episode before, so thank you, Jill. That's really enlightening.
No. I like One for the Angels better than What You Need.
Yeah, I like One for the Angels. That's my favorite Peddler episode.
It sounds like you're trying to rank all of them right now.
No, I'm just...
There's time enough at last.
Yeah. I do like that episode more and more when I see that, because that is the entire episode.
Well, I mean, I
can take a shot.
I love the way he hugs a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now for our final episode,
I just realized that I really wasn't keeping track, but you could have gotten quite loaded in this last episode, What You Need, because he says it over and over. So if you were taking a shot every time they say the title, you could have done probably 8 of them in this episode.
I forgot about that drinking game. I've just been drinking regularly. I
always got to remember the drinking game.
Yeah.
What You Need. Or 8 shots. Wait, no. That sounds like a bad idea for me.
Oh, it's a terrible idea.
I wouldn't be able to pick up my children, for one thing.
Why? Are they that heavy?
Classic Comics says, I was just reading about the muck time. Oh, right. He's going to do a stream about it. And then in this bar, we serve hard liquor for folks who want to get drunk fast.
That's the Sheldon Leonard reference.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Someone give that man a pair of flip-flops, says Greek Letters Larson. His shoes are too tight and slippery.
His spoon is too big.
He'd only kill you because he loved you, said Gavin Blackburn.
I mean, if we're going to extrapolate this and say that Dark Santa can really see what the next step this guy will take in the next step, he might kill you because you might be on your way to killing somebody else.
Well, that's the reason why he killed him.
But that's also the thing that it was ominous when you call him Dark Santa, because the first thing that he gives him is a pair of scissors. And it looks like he's going to stab him or something. And it's like, no, you're going to need these. Yeah, no, I know. And it was like, it was sort of bait and switch.
Misdirection.
Yeah, misdirection.
Sleight of hand. But yeah, I think we all saw that. Anytime you see scissors up by somebody's throat, it gives you pause. It makes you jerk.
True story. Hey, Devil
Right.
Flyer.
Right, and that's why it's always
Excelsior.
very creepy when someone does like they don't trust each other and one of them shaves the other person with like a regular razor.
Yes. Super
I
creepy.
have I
Straight
done this?
razor.
Never mind. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Gavin Blackburn says, or asks, does this episode with the genie in it count
This
as
is not
peddler
a genie.
episode?
It's literally a magical street peddler. It's not a genie.
Street
See
peddler
what you've
is
done
what
now,
genies
Scotty.
put on their
You've totally,
business cards.
You've totally fouled the water here.
No. Gavin Blackburn says, does the episode with the genie in it count as a peddler episode? He's referring to a different Twilight Zone episode, I think.
I don't know. We're not there yet. We're talking about this episode.
Yeah, we're not there yet. Because I think there is one with a genie in it, but I don't.
Oh, wow. I can't wait.
There's a couple with genies in them.
Are there genie episodes of the Twilight Zone?
Absolutely. At least 2, I think.
That.
Yeah.
There is. I remember one.
I'm just looking forward to the toy people in the box.
There's
not to mention the devil episodes where the devil.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we're trying to say is that we really enjoy all of the Twilight Zone, and you should tune in each week.
But to answer Gavin's question, no, it counts as a genie episode, not a peddler episode.
Yeah. Because there's an antique shop episode with the genie in it, and I'm sure more than that.
Is there going to be like a creepy? Oh my god! Ventriloquist doll. Is there going to be a creepy ventriloquist doll?
Yes. With
I
Cliff
don't
Robertson.
think we should tell you everything. You have to. It will all unfold.
No, but
for you.
Teasers, not spoilers.
Where do you think they got all of those ideas to begin with, Scotty?
There are more than one creepy doll episode.
They found a muse and they said, what do I need?
As far as the ventriloquist, the British film Dead of Night is the origin for the creepy ventriloquist.
I don't want to see it. They creep me out. They're worse than clowns,
I need 10 minutes. I hope it's not too long. I'll be as quick as I can.
No, I think, one of my favorite
that's fine.
things.
We're all about to have fisticuffs here. Anyway.
Yeah, we're all. I'm waving my fists at clouds. No, but my first real introduction to the Twilight Zone was the pinball machine. Have you guys ever played the Twilight Zone pinball machine? It's famous in pinball circles.
Oh, no, I haven't.
It's delightful.
That I've ever even seen it.
If you have the opportunity, and I don't know where you guys live.
Arcades much.
Well, I know it is a stigma, but I love skee-ball.
I love the carnival games in general. Did anybody read the closing narration? Was I totally checked out?
You can do it if you want.
Yeah, I did.
No, I was just asking. No.
Yeah, I read it.
You want me to do it again?
I'm glad somebody did.
Yeah, I read it.
I was probably busily looking up Chris Parnell's name.
Well, but I love the fact, one of the things that took me with the closing narration was that it sounds like a script.
Right.
Street scene.
Night. Traffic accident.
Does.
I love that.
Victim named Fred Renard. Gentleman
you already
with a
read
sour
it.
Face. But I'm reading it again.
Yes, you don't have to.
Well, I want to.
Okay, go.
Oh gosh, Jill goes away and looks what.
No,
what
it's
happens.
fine. We have to fill time.
I mean, you read it the first time. Somebody
else
should read it. Give somebody else a chance.
Oh
then
no!
You do it if you're in the way.
No, not ever going to give anybody else a chance. Arlene Martell and Nimoy worked together prior to Star Trek on a show called The Rebel.
The Rebel,
says Classics Comics, and I didn't know that at all, and I don't know The Rebel. I think I remember that vaguely. It's a Western, early '60s. The Rebel.
It rings a
that
bell.
Was Marlon Brando.
Vaguely.
No, that's not Marlon.
Might have been as well.
I don't know. You know what I miss is Rod Serling on screen. I want to see him.
Yeah, you'll get that in the second season.
Okay. And also the theme music.
Yeah, that's second season.
It is interesting that they're not doing a couple of episodes before this, they had him do the outro and they had him on camera. So
he does the previews. in the first season. That's the only time you see him on camera.
Because Hitchcock was all about that on his TV show. And
Right.
now I'm wondering which came first, Twilight Zone or the Alfred Hitchcock show.
Alfred Hitchcock Presents came first in 1955.
Interesting.
Huh. I love this jukebox of information.
And then in 1962, it became the Alfred Hitchcock Hour, and it went to NBC because it was originally on CBS.
Is that why maybe Serling chose not to do that for the first season? Maybe he just kind of felt like he was. He didn't want to borrow or ape Hitchcock.
He actually was camera shy, and when he did even the previews, he was really nervous, and the director had to kind of trick him into doing his lines.
That's it. He does look like a man who could bust out into flop sweat any second.
Yeah, but
Rod?
The thing is, what I've seen of the previews, because when I watch the episodes on the Blu-ray, it just plays right into them. He's classy and sharp, and it looks like he's just like, this is just easy street for him.
Well, but he had to get used to it, which I like to learn. Thanks for letting me know. That's interesting.
Yeah,
he clearly got the hang of it, but he did have some stage fright to start with.
Yeah,
I think that there are 3 people who embody their characters, and they are exactly who you think they are. One of them is Rod Serling. The second one is R. Lee Ermey. And the third one is Jack Webb.
Yeah, you gotta see Jack Webb before he was in doing the Dragnet thing.
He's the drill instructor.
Yeah, he's it's really fun to see him in different movies where he's not doing that kind of dour, just the facts, ma'am, kind of delivery. And he's I think he's in Sunset Boulevard, isn't he? One of the
what?
Yeah, he's one of the other writers that's at the party that William Holden. I think he's in that.
Man. I've never seen all of Sunset Boulevard.
Let me check.
I know. I can hear your disappointment, Tiger.
I don't know what you mean. I mean, I'm not a Sunset Boulevard fan.
Really? I would have pegged you as one.
No,
pardon my vernacular.
It's too unsettling of a film, and I don't
really
believe in re-watching things that are disturbing. I think that they sort of soak into your psyche and change your viewpoint of the world, and I just don't want that in my life.
Yeah, I was
not a Lynch fan.
I was
exactly.
I was correct. Jack Webb is in Sunset Boulevard, and I have
to check it out.
I have Sunset Boulevard on 4K.
Steelbook?
In my library.
No, and sorry,
that's not a steelbook.
No, but like I when I hang out with Kat from the Phantasmagorium, she collects steelbooks like they're gonna be currency in the post-apocalypse. And
they're cool.
Yeah, they are cool. They're rad. The art, everything. And so that's always like I'll say something like, "Oh, I got Great Expectations starring Ethan Hawke," and I don't know why I turned into Kermit and Gwyneth Paltrow. And she's like, "Did you get the 4K steelbook?" And it's like, "No, I spent $1.50 on that." But I love Anne Bancroft.
About Charles Aidman, who was Harrington in the previous episode.
Oh, sweet!
He was the narrator for the '80s Twilight Zone series.
Huh?
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, that is a nice little thing that he was able to do that, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So he did all the narration.
It looks like it says 30 episodes, 85 to 87.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great connection. Thank you for that.
It is a great connection.
Yeah.
I bet Harlan did that.
Fine.
Because Harlan was showrunner of that show for the first season.
Yeah. Creative. He was I guess also creative consultant or something like that.
Hey, Watcher X played the pinball. Best pinball ever, followed by the Addams Family. No argument. They are
I would
both
love
great
to see
games.
it. You know, if I
And there are
don't know
YouTube
of
channels.
any arcades anymore. Arcades aren't really arcades anymore. They've been relegated to subsets of bowling alleys, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know where
pretty
you go
much.
for an arcade anymore.
Yeah, really.
Or you
But
know
I'd
what?
love
If you
to.
get a good Cineplex, sometimes like if you
No, you're not going to find a good machine in a Cineplex. No,
no,
Cineplexes
okay,
are about
fine.
movies.
Maybe I'm optimistic.
I know there was some sort of massive arcade not even in LA, like in LA County outside of LA. I think it was an adjunct to a go-kart track that I went to with friends. And man, they had a spectacular arcade. Oh my God. They had House of the Dead, which I really love to play because you get to hold a gun. You know, it's not just a stick. You get to actually hold the gun and, shoot the zombies. That was pretty spectacular.
It was. Remember, like Time Crisis? Anyway, we're getting into an arcade.
Barely.
No, that's okay.
Really.
That's okay. My city does have a pretty good classic arcade here, and you just paid for entry, so you don't have to have all the quarters or.
That's incredible.
Whatever. And
Jill,
they have lots of pinball. Yeah.
Do they have the creature from the Black Lagoon pinball machine?
I'm not sure. I didn't take inventory of all the different pinballs. Maybe I'll go back and take pictures for you guys.
That's one of my favorites.
Yes, do it. I'm going to color now.
You're gonna color. Okay.
I had a visualization of you with a book and crayons. So.
I have a book and crayons if you'd like me to do it live.
The only problem
I just thought that you were using that as a verb. I'm going to color now.
Scotty,
it's a mental health break.
Me and Scotty have gone back to Oz.
There we are. Welcome back.
And Jill is in Oz too, in Technicolor.
Weird. How did this happen?
Don't you remember Tiger Stripes? She used to be here. She used to be in color. Don't you remember?
Okay.
You're not going to do it. I love it.
Do what? What am I supposed to do?
I know. I don't
Tiger
know.
Stripes?
I don't know who you're talking
your
about.
Expectations, Scotty. I'm sorry.
I demand color.
Me neither.
I'm sorry that Jill left me. I'm feeling slightly
I didn't know
battered.
you guys were dating.
Left me alone with you two. You know what I mean.
My mistake. I'm sorry. I misinterpreted.
Well, I enjoyed all of it. Thank you guys for holding it up. Classic Comics says I'll be doing a stream on Cat Spa this afternoon, starting coverage of season 2. By the way,
Nice.
Cat Spa,
Cat
the
Spa,
Halloween episode.
Cat Spa has a cat in it.
It does, and shadows of cats.
Yes.
And marionettes.
And
And you could have the Enterprises necklace.
That's right.
Greek Letters Larson says, great expectations are futile. No, wait, wrong movie again. Damn it. He's getting the wrong movie.
I don't know.
Dead of Night had the original creepy ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Is that the episode? Dead of Night.
It's a movie.
Oh,
it's a movie. It's a British anthology movie. It has a framing device and individual stories. It's really cool. It was made
I want to make sure.
In the I think it was 46, 47, somewhere in there.
I'm going to write it down and my notebook is going to be immediately haunted.
But yeah, it has Michael Redgrave plays the ventriloquist in that story.
Nice. Who plays the doll?
Hugo.
The same person. Oh, he does have a different name. Okay.
That's the name of the dummy is Hugo.
Hello to Devil Flyer Momentum. Is it real ventriloquism in the movie, or does he just have somebody dubbing over?
That would be a dub over, Jill. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Well, Michael Redgrave was quite a famous actor.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a ventriloquist too.
Of course not. I just sometimes it's fun if they just happen to have talent.
Wouldn't it be great? And I'm gonna start my camera for a second, but I'm just like, wouldn't it be okay? So Jill, what I want you to say is the opening to Star Trek, or no, the opening to the Twilight Zone. The opening to the Twilight Zone. Do you have that on hand?
There is a fifth
I have it.
dimension.
You got it? All right.
Yes.
So, all right. This is going to be the worst ventriloquism ever. Can you make me big?
Okay. Oh, that's me.
Yeah, not you. Not you.
That's
Make
Jill.
me big.
Big Jill.
Make me big. All right.
Big Scotty.
So, if you could start right now, go.
There is the fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
So that was my voice. Or sorry, that was Jill's voice through my, like, she worked me like a puppet. Or no, wait, how does ventriloquism work again?
I can give you show notes if you want them.
You needed a doll.
Well, you need to.
You need a doll. I thought I was the doll.
Your throat, and you need to tighten your throat. There's actually an actor who did that recently, where there was a voiceover, but he was silent, but he was supposed to be doing. I can't remember. It was something I saw.
I wasn't
like, in the last.
I
month
thought
or
I
two
was supposed
that really
to not
made an
move my
impact
mouth
on me. No, you
I thought I was supposed.
You need to kind of.
Did I have to
tighten
do
your throat
stuff
and move your Adam's apple up and up, down? You have to show that there's something going on. Because actual ventriloquists are always sort of masking.
I think you just wrote my resume. Yes.
Well,
the mask is very important in life. The mask is all important in life.
We'll work on that, and we'll have it ready when we actually have the ventriloquist episode.
There you go.
So no, but wait. Do I move my mouth when you talk?
No, you don't move your mouth. But if you're pretending to be a ventriloquist, there has to be some sort of movement going on.
I've got to do something.
You have to do something. And a lot of
that makes sense.
mask that will kind of smile widely and show their teeth.
Yeah, but I don't have teeth.
Well, I can't help that.
I'll
try to remember the guy.
Let's work on this. Let's workshop this.
There was something like in a film that I saw recently that was exactly what was going on, and it was really impressive. And everybody thought that the actor was the ventriloquist because they were able to do the simulation of a ventriloquist so well. I'll have to go. I'll figure it out. By the time we get to the ventriloquist episode of Twilight Zone, which probably won't be for quite a while,
it's going to be a bit.
Speaking of next episodes, I've got to read the previews for the next episode. So next week on the Twilight Zone, one of the most bizarre and unusual tales we've told yet. One man with 4 faces, 4 separate and adventuresome lives that must be seen to be believed. Harry Towns, Philip Pine, Ross Martin, and Don Gordon star in The 4 of Us Are Dying. This is a story designed for goosebumps. I hope we'll see you next week. Then the other next week, we'll give you a lesson in astronomy, but the kind of lesson not taught in schools. Fritz Weaver, Edward Andrews, and Joe Morose appear in Third from the Sun. This is a story that takes place on the eve of Doomsday. I hope you'll join us on the Twilight Zone.
Near.
Yes.
Oh, I can tie this together too. I can tie a loop. Charles Aidman, who was Harrington in the first episode, substituted for Ross Martin briefly in Wild Wild West. And
when he
kind of like when he broke his leg.
He broke his leg.
Snapped his ankle.
Yeah, he broke his leg.
Yeah, there's actual footage of that. You can see it happen in the episode, which is pretty remarkable.
In my notes, remind me. Don't forget the poll. Jill.
Yeah, don't forget
the poll. So
I'm
going to end
the poll.
I didn't forget the poll. I ended the poll.
Hooray!
And the episode that people like better was "And When the Sky Was Opened," and it gets 75% over what you need.
Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. We're all disappear.
All right, I forgot
I
to
think
talk
we're all going to
softly.
disappear anyway.
We're talking
Yeah.
we talk softly.
All right.
Thanks for doing the poll, Jill.
You're welcome. Yeah. Gavin Blackburn says I used to frequent a rock pub in the late 90s.
Did you
that
close the
had
poll?
Star Trek. Yeah, I did. TNG. It had a Star Trek TNG pinball machine, but
Yeah.
it didn't have any Picard speeches though.
Oh, dude, Gavin, I've played the Star Trek: The Next Generation pinball machine so many times, and I had friends who owned one, and I played it, and every
You're
time.
spoiled.
No, I am very spoiled. But like there was a moment where I was playing Star Trek: The Next Generation, the pinball machine at a pinball tournament, and it was like Data. There is Brent Spiner dialogue that goes through the pinball machine, and I was like, "Thank you, Mr. Data," and everyone thought it was hilarious. And so ever since, every time I play that pinball machine, I make it a point to condescendingly thank Mr. Data.
It's always Picard
close to being a good Picard impression.
Yeah, and
it's
your
close. It's not that good. Though.
Picard.
It's not that bad. Just wants a little brushing up.
Engage.
Indeed.
Anytime he says, he's always interrupting Data when he says that. Data is saying something cool.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting Data.
And
Sorry
that's
for
all we
yelling at
have
the
for
microphone.
today.
That's it. That's all. But
we did it.
What's going on? What's going on this week, Jill? What's going on your channel?
Oh, on my channel. Well, very exciting things. Aside from Twilight Zones on Tuesdays, on Friday, we're going to for Valentine's Day, we're going to cover a couple of terrible Next Generation episodes that have to do with romance. We'll always have Paris and Sub Rosa.
Yes.
Because I've been covering lots of good episodes, but I intend to talk about all of TNG, the good and the bad. So this is a good way to knock out a couple of stinkers.
Well, they're romances.
And what's happening Saturday, Jill?
Saturday is super cool because that's a celebration of my 3rd year channel anniversary. So we're going to celebrate however we decide to celebrate. One of the things I'm going to do is I've already set up a little tournament for your favorite Star Trek character, and I specifically made it the crew who's on the bridge, because if anybody's favorite character is Harry Mudd, you don't have to worry about that because he's not a bridge
right.
Remember.
So it's going to be a competition.
Can I change my vote?
A bracket elimination.
I don't know. Like I guess if you could probably vote again on your phone because it goes by IP address.
Okay. Anyway, no, but like when I didn't understand the competition, I chose Scotty instead of McCoy, and I love Scotty, but I'm just like, if I have a choice.
Yeah. Well, I already know your favorite Star Trek character is Dr. McCoy, so that doesn't make sense what you did.
Well, no, but when we first started talking about it, I thought it was like, okay, so who needs to be on the bridge? I was like, okay, in Crisis, I want Scotty over McCoy.
That makes sense. And I guess I didn't
in Crisis,
explain.
Scotty should be in the engine room.
Well, but
because he's given
does have that
he
panel. He's got the panel. There's an engineering station, and I'm okay with it.
That is a completely different question than I intended on my.
Yeah, I'm sorry I interpreted it that way. And now I'm completely confused, and I want DeForest Kelley to come back to life and punch me in the face.
So you've already got something
followed by Jimmy Doohan coming back to life and slapping me.
Yes, but apparently it has a very confusing title. So if anyone's confused, it's just your favorite character.
No, I'm the only one who was confused.
Where is this?
Okay.
Where does one find this?
Yeah.
It's let me grab it.
Can you
post
it in the
members
chat,
only
Jill?
situation?
No.
It's
not it's not members only. Find
it. Also, Fabu to Outlaw Bill.
Oh, hello. Is Outlaw Bill here?
Hi. Outlaw Bill is right there.
Well, that's great to see you.
Hi, just a no one's saying hello again. What?
If
You're
you're
crazy,
not a
lady.
no one. Don't be ridiculous.
If you're here,
You're famous.
and you've got to be someone. No, you're not disappearing, Outlaw Bill. You are here. We believe in your existence.
We believe. Don't you remember?
Oh no! Why isn't it not working?
I don't know.
no,
Computers. Turn it off. Turn it on again.
I'm having trouble with my internet in a very odd way because I can still talk to you, and yet things are loading very strange.
Very slowly. Very slowly. Gavin Blackburn in the chat says February 14th, Commercial Love Day. And my personal experience is don't pay for it.
You can make Valentine's
Commercial
these
Love
days.
Day. Yeah, that's right.
There's so many images on the internet. You can find a nice retro Valentine on Pinterest, print it out, and give it to the one you love. You don't have to buy a thing.
Well, and also give yourself a treat. Make you your own Valentine. And only Stone Racket is going to get this. Jill knows what's happening on Saturday night. But I have not one, not two, but 3 brides.
The 3 brides of Scotty R37.
Yeah, I
They're
think I
alive.
heard you propose to somebody the other day, and I'm
I did. I do it all the
rescinding my
time.
acceptance. You can't count me anymore.
Come on, I don't even have a passport.
No, I don't do that. I don't do that polygamy thing.
Neither do I. First things first. How about a high five?
I'm a lifestyle, not a weekend.
I don't know how to respond except just yeah. Well, you know what? We'll talk later. I'll send you a message.
We have to
This
talk
is
on
not
Saturday.
public.
We have to save it for Saturday.
Save it for Saturday. So Jill,
if there's lots of dead air right now, we can talk about it now. That's actually
we can do it.
Tori
sure.
Amos quote about a time that Anthony Kiedis came onto her, and she had to take all of her personal inner strength to walk away from him.
Why? Because she was just so
I'm a lifestyle, not a vacation. No, she could tell that he was just going to use her and throw her away.
Oh, yeah. No, that makes sense.
Jill disappeared.
She'll be back. She does like closing out her own show. So she'll be back.
I certainly
Jill should always have the last word.
I'm glad that both of you remember Jill.
Oh, my God. Jill? Who? What?
Who?
I thought this was my show.
Welcome to Tiger Stripes.
The Tiger Stripes channel.
Tiger Stripes is your host.
This is where I should disappear.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
but I want to wait for Jill to come back. That would be great.
Stone Racket, we have to get Tiger Stripes back.
Yeah.
Tiger who?
No. Yeah.
Don't you remember?
Who?
I did think that Rod Taylor did a very credible job of crying in that episode, and that's always so hard to hear.
He was
to hear a man crying.
He was excellent.
He was very credible.
Yeah, he didn't ugly cry. He was, weeping.
Yeah. Well, most people tend to hide their face when they cry. That's a thing.
Jill has successfully added the link in the YouTube
excellent.
chat.
Oh, I gotta go for this thing that she's
for
talking
this.
about.
This
oh my gosh.
poll.
Well, I got to open that. Go to. God, if I hit go to, I think maybe it might. I'll just hit copy. I don't want it to bounce me out.
Yeah, I should check that out and make sure. Maybe I can change my vote.
She's right. If you've got multiple channels, you can always.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that.
Oh, I see. Oh my goodness, this is very confusing.
I can change.
Wow,
I can change.
This is a real, genuine round robin. Impressive.
No, it's fucking weird, yo.
Yeah.
There we go.
Tournament bracket. Brilliant.
We've already received a vote from
March Madness.
Yeah. And it's funny though, because I can't change my vote. But given the functionality of a person on the bridge, I was like, yeah, I want Scotty on the bridge. I don't need McCoy there until shit goes down. Also,
hey, Jill's back.
Yeah.
Hey, Jill's back.
Internet, and I didn't know what was happening. But
Did you fly a kite with a key on it?
Yes, that was my mistake for doing scientific experiments in the middle of Tiger Stripes thunderstorm.
Out of my control, but it was pretty spectacular.
It was wonderful to hear. I wanted more.
What's it?
Oh, Sentai Ranger Dawn is here. Hello.
Hey,
Donnie.
more phenomenal.
Right, and so we are heading out. I got a little.
We done?
Up. I did post in the chat the poll. It's also posted on my 3rd-year anniversary stream. But there it is. If anybody wants to put in their first votes, it should say favorite Bridge Crew character, and I put best, which is the best is what confused Scotty.
Yeah.
And I can understand. It's a different conversation, but I like that conversation too. So we might confuse people even more on Saturday.
I love
confusion.
In. So thanks for the link. I got my vote in.
Great.
Round 1 anyway.
Okay, and I'm gonna get your links in there, Scotty.
So
and
it should be favorite rather than best.
Yes, favorite rather than best. I was not thinking straight.
Well, it's like, you know what? The thing is that Scotty would win. Scotty is the best.
Well, we shall see about that.
But yeah, it's like Chief O'Brien. He is the best.
So there's 2 categories for round 1.
Yes.
Yes, I see.
And
that.
I
have to scroll down.
I kind of wish I would have separated Kirk and Spock to put them in different tiers because
they should go up against each other. That kind of makes sense.
It should have been Kirk and Scotty. It should have been Kirk
I don't want
Scotty.
one of them to be knocked out.
And it should have been
but one of them
Spock
will
and
be
McCoy.
knocked out, right?
Yes.
Oh,
so
I can't wait.
We'll see what
I hope
happens
there's a fight between Spock and McCoy. I already voted against Spock and McCoy.
We can discuss that on Saturday. It'll be a good discussion.
I guess it'll be better than the Super Bowl.
Boy, that was really horrible. God.
Never saw it. Heard about it.
Oh, it was just horrible to watch. It hurt to watch.
Well, some of the dudes were
the
fit.
commercials
they were
weren't even
tight
as solid as they usually are. It was kind of lackluster.
So yeah, I hang out at the Cinema Gulp. I do the Hump Day Happy Hour with my friends Ben and Elvirus. And yeah, that's a good time. And then on Thursdays, I hang out with my friends Kat and Steve, and we're going through The Matrix. We've taken a 2-week hiatus, and we're going to be talking about the Animatrix. So, the animated Matrix on Thursday. I'm hoping Jill can be there. I don't know. I don't want to make any promises or, impose. And then
too, but I've
Friday,
got a busy week.
What are we doing Friday? We're doing Ghost and Michelle Phillips from the Mamas and the Papas is what's going on. The Ghost and the Mamas and the Papas is what's happening on Friday.
Well, that's
and then
eclectic.
Saturday. Oh my God, Jill! I feel like a donkey. There's going to be an anniversary, and also behind the scenes, guys. I don't know if you want to like and subscribe or nothing, but I'm going to have to read Lord of the Rings, but only the parts with Tom Bombadil. So I got like 40 pages.
Yes. Initially, I thought you just needed chapter.
Scotty. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to have to fight the boredom. The only thing that's going to save me is Tom Bombadil.
Tom Bombadil and his singing nonsense.
And the beautiful writing. The beautiful writing might save you.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward, but I'm afraid. Because if I get bored, I'm going to be so upset.
It's an easy read. Come on. Don't be
so
I'm an easy reader.
See, I thought I only needed chapter 7, but then I realized, no, chapter 8 is
End of
Tom.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, there's more than one. Tom's in more than one chapter. Yeah.
He's in
mares eat oats, does eat oats, and little
lambs eat ivy.
Thank you. I would
just about
anyway.
One chapter. It's about
stop making me big.
Entering and exiting the story.
Okay, in just a minute.
Oh, okay. Why? There we are.
And so, Tiger Stripes, is there anything you want to share before we go? This is how people can reach you.
I'm happily working with Jill on this Twilight Zone stream, and also we're taking a year to review the books, the book, The Lord of the Rings. We're reading it together and going through it a chapter at a time. It's fun.
We're still on. Yeah, it is fun. We're still on book 1, but we're
still
going
early
this
days.
Saturday.
You could read and catch up with us if you wanted. Oh,
I can't wait to hear how it ends. I'm just going to show up.
And so even the Lord of the Rings is all one story. It's broken up into 6 books, where 2 books per book, as people know it, as the Fellowship and 2 Towers and Return of the King. Mm-hmm. But so we are on book 1 out of 6, and we're going to finish that. We're going to record about chapters 7 through 12 on Saturday, which is the same day as my 3rd anniversary.
Oh my gosh!
So
Jill,
it's a busy day.
You don't. I know you don't want to bump that for your anniversary.
Okay. Well, would you be okay with recording on Sunday?
Yes. You have to consider. Okay. You can't do that on your anniversary. You have to be on your anniversary.
Okay. Can you read on Sunday, Scotty? During the show notes.
No, I'm totally there. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You can read on Sunday. I mean, not read, but record on Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It's a commitment.
Okay, so let's.
Dude, you told me I had to read this. I'm gonna read it. It's probably the most sympathetic character in the Lord of the Rings that I'm interested in. You're telling me to read the best part. So yes, I would like to join this party.
Hooray.
But once the party's over, I'm out.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's the Tom Bombadil party.
Yeah.
Ain't no party like a Tom Bombadil party.
S Club.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
that's
and
what
it works perfectly because it's just the first 2 chapters, and then you can leave, and then.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Tom Bombadil.
The
it's
last
kind of
4.
like 3 chapters, though.
Yeah, I know, and I have to read all 3 of them. I have to be well versed.
He missed the first one, so
I'm gonna find out.
You are. Just watch my premiere on Thursday. It explains everything. But Stone Racket, is there anything you want to share before we head out?
I have cats. Oh.
You know what? You know what? This isn't an unboxing, but Stone Racket, before you start going, because this is about you, you sent me something today, and you very thoughtfully sent a card as well. And it said, if a kitten eating pizza in space doesn't make your birthday awesome, then I'm out of ideas. Happy birthday, Scotty, with 3 exclamation points from Stone Racket. And I just wanted to acknowledge, you know what? I am flattered, and I adore the card. But we'll see what the box was full of on Saturday. But thank you, man.
You are most welcome.
I always thought I pissed you off, and then I was like, "Oh my god!" Apparently not.
Oh, you pissed me off a lot, but also, I wanted you to, there was something we talked about on a stream. And I just said, well, hey, I got to do something to rectify this situation. So, but we'll find out on Saturday. We'll find out.
The first order of business was a kitten eating pizza in space.
Yeah, I love that birthday card.
It's great.
There's a whole series of cards with cats that I think it's from Shoebox cards from Hallmark, and they're all incredibly funny, and that's the best one.
Thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome. I can be found on Twitter as Jill has it up on screen there, Largo6583. I'm also you can find me on the Blu-ray.com forum. I post there as the cat, T.H.E.cat, and on those forums. My two cats, Chico and Harpo, are celebrities. But yeah, you can check me out there. And also, I will be on Jill's channel as a guest. And you can find me whenever Jill is streaming most of the time, especially on Tuesdays for Twilight Zone. And looking forward to Saturday, Jill. Excellent.
Me too. I'm
third
already
anniversary.
Now that I have the morning to plan, I think it's going to be an even better stream.
Yeah. And then something I wanted to mention to Tiger Stripes. I took you up on your movie recommendation and watched.
What'd you watch?
I watched Lars and the Real Girl.
Oh, dude!
Wow!
How was it?
Yeah, it's superb.
It's wonderful. Everybody should see Lars and the Real Girl. Keep it short,
and let's talk about that on. I'm gonna put that on Saturday. Topic.
I'll write it down. Lars and the Real Girl. And the Real Girl. Actually I'll just go and get a doll.
It's available on Freevee. So if you have a platform connected to your television, you can watch it for free. And they have minimal commercials, so I can recommend
it. If I have time, I'll watch it.
I watch
and we'll have a casual conversation on Saturday.
It's a gentle parable.
Is it basically what happens when I get my She-Hulk?
No, it's nothing like that at all. That's the beautiful thing about it.
Yeah, I watched it on Tubi because my ad blocker works on Tubi, but it doesn't work on Freevee. But
all right, we're getting into settings.
No.
Well, I like to watch on my TV, so I use my Roku.
Yeah, excellent.
I have an Amazon Fire television made by Toshiba myself. Would you like to know my IP address?
Yes.
I just wanted to give a special thank you to
7.
Aw, kitty.
And thank you to Tiger Stripes. And thank you to Scotty R37.
You're welcome.
And Watcher X was here too. Oh, he was a merry fellow, and his boots were yellow.
Oh, Tom Bombadil?
Yes, that's Tom Bombadil.
I haven't read it yet. Spoilers.
Spoiler. I've shown you the picture.
He can turn into a bear. Spoiler.
Oh my God.
What?
I'm gonna be doodling Tom Bombadil until the day I die now. Thank you.
Are you saying Tom Bombadil is the same character from The Hobbit?
What?
There's a character in The Hobbit that...
I didn't say anything. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm getting confused. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, no. But it's a similar kind of character. I don't think
you're right. It's from The Hobbit, not from The Lord of the Rings. Pardon me.
Is Tom Bombadil in The Hobbit?
No.
There is a character similar.
I no longer know what the hell any of you are talking about.
And I'm not even a Tolkien fan.
And that means it's probably time for us to go.
Let's get out of here. Shut off the power.
I had to restart my computer, so I don't even have my notes up. Give me just a second.
Well, you can wing it. You're great at this. You're an excellent broadcaster.
Wing it, but I prepare. So
don't
all for this time in the Twilight Zone. This was the first one. They were just really great episodes about the nature of existence, and the second one is about the consequences of not following the advice of someone who, like, imagine if Fred said, "Oh, you say what I need to do is to consider changing my personality. I'm going to go reconsider my whole life," and then he goes away and nobody gets killed and he becomes a better person. Wouldn't that have been nice? But it wouldn't have been the Twilight Zone.
Oh, but if you want to summarize it that quickly, I'm just saying, first thing he gave him was don't die. Second thing was, fine, have some money. And the third thing was, kid, you bother me.
Yeah. Well, he was about to kill him, but before he gave him the shoes, he gave him a chance. He said, what you really need is to have a sense of humor about yourself, how be able to see more, to not be such a selfish, greedy person. And I don't exactly remember precisely what he said, but
that reminds me, buy me a She-Hulk.
Right, Serenity.
That's what I need.
serenity, peace of mind, humor, the ability to laugh at oneself. So
Oh yeah.
but that advice was not taken. Anyway.
So we done? Can I clock out?
Well, thanks again for everyone being amazing and the panel in the chat. I hope to see you again in the Twilight Zone.
Near.
And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Well, now you have something new to think about. Carry on.
All right, move along. Done. Stop it. Get off of the things. Go outside. Get some food. It's like, it's a time of day where you live. Go do something. Shut up, Snoopy. I don't care. You smoke too much. Let's go. Let's go adventure. Let's go explore.